What if the city's creepiest legend actually happened to me? I never believed the stories until that rainy night. Growing up, everyone talked about the Whistling Woman, but I always thought it was just an old urban legend. At exactly 3:13 inches the morning, a strange whistle suddenly woke me from my sleep. The whistle came again, louder and much closer than before, sending chills down my spine. Then I remembered the legend. One whistle means you're safe, two means she's nearby, and three whistles means she's already watching you from somewhere in the darkness. My hands shook as I slowly reached for the curtain, afraid of what I might see outside. When I looked out the window, a pale woman stood beneath the streetlight, staring directly at me. A local woman later told me that hearing three whistles means the Whistling Woman has chosen her next victim. A former night guard revealed that several people disappeared after hearing whistles near the abandoned train station. The next morning, I discovered muddy footprints on my fire escape leading toward my apartment. The footprints ended right outside my window, and that's when I realized the nightmare wasn't over. The footprints outside my window led me to a place that officially shouldn't exist. Everyone in the building believed there were only 3 floors, but something didn't add up. While investigating, I discovered a hidden elevator button concealed behind a loose metal panel. With a deep breath, I pressed the mysterious button labeled number 4. The elevator began moving upward, carrying me toward an unknown destination. When the doors opened, I found myself staring into a dark hallway frozen in time. Dust covered every surface as I slowly walked through the abandoned corridor. At the end of the hallway stood a single apartment marked with the number 413. The number matched the time I heard the whistles 3:13 inches the morning. I knocked on the door, and after a long silence, a faint whistle answered from inside. A building historian later revealed that a 4th floor once existed before a mysterious fire in 1978. A retired firefighter told me that one woman vanished during that fire and was never found. As I turned to leave, the door of apartment 413 slowly creaked open by itself. Inside, hundreds of photographs covered the walls, and every single one was of me. Someone had been secretly photographing me for years, and every picture was hanging inside apartment 413. The walls were covered from floor to ceiling with photographs of my entire life. There were school photos that should have existed only in my family's albums. Even pictures from old vacations stared back at me from the dusty walls. Then I found photographs taken through my apartment windows while I was home. Some images were from my childhood, moments nobody outside my family should have seen. As I searched the room, one photograph caught my attention immediately. It showed me sleeping in my bed that very morning. That's when I realized someone had been inside my apartment while I slept. A police investigator later told me they found no fingerprints, DNA, or signs anyone had lived there. A paranormal researcher suggested that every urban legend begins with a hidden truth. Determined to find answers, I started searching every drawer and cabinet in the room. At the bottom of an old desk, I discovered a hidden drawer covered in dust. Inside was a cassette tape labeled "For Adam," as if someone had been waiting for me to find it. The voice on the tape knew things that nobody else could possibly know. With shaking hands, I placed the cassette into an old tape recorder and pressed play. For several seconds, nothing but static filled the room. Then a woman's voice whispered, "If you're hearing this, she found you too." The woman explained that she had once lived in apartment 413 before the fire. Everything began after she heard a strange whistle near the abandoned train station. She claimed that something followed her home that night and never left. It was the same whistle, the same legend, and the same terrifying woman. As the recording neared its end, her voice became quieter and more desperate. Her final warning was simple: never let her inside. An audio expert later confirmed that the tape was more than 40 years old. A local historian identified the woman as the missing resident from the 1978 fire. Then the recording ended with 3 loud knocks that echoed through the room. That night, I heard the exact same 3 knocks coming from my apartment door. Standing frozen in the darkness, I realized the warning had come too late. I finally opened the door, expecting a nightmare, but what I found was something far more disturbing. Standing outside was an elderly woman whose face was filled with fear. Without saying a word, she handed me an old newspaper clipping. The article revealed a shocking truth about the Whistling Woman legend. The Whistling Woman was never a ghost. She was a witness. Back in 1978, she saw a serial killer operating near the abandoned train station. Before she could testify, she mysteriously disappeared during the apartment fire. That's when I realized the legend had been hiding something much darker. Someone wanted the city to fear a ghost instead of searching for a murderer. For decades, the killer's family had protected the secret and kept the truth buried. A crime journalist revealed that the legend may be connected to several unsolved disappearances. A detective confirmed that new evidence suggests the fire was intentionally set. As police reopened the cold case, they searched beneath the old train station. Hidden underground, they discovered a secret room no one knew existed. Inside was a wall covered with dozens of names, most of them crossed out. Only one name remained untouched, and when I saw it, my blood ran cold. The name was mine, and beneath it, someone had recently written two terrifying words: "He knows."